Hello there and a very warm welcome to another edition of the program. I am Victor Matthias. Now, the news has been awash with stories of clashes between herdsmen and farmers in Nigeria, as well as attacks by suspected herdsmen and reprisals in Kaduna, Benue, Taraba, Plateau, and Adamawa states, amongst others. This has brought untold pain and hardship to victims who have lost loved ones, farm produce, cattle, homes, and shops, amongst other numerous properties. How soon will this be nipped in the bud? Will this be a continuous threat to the security and peace of the country? These and other questions will be our focus on the program today. But let's first take a look at the trending topics on the social cyberspace in the past week. As the first Nigerian to land a role in a Hollywood superhero movie, Avengers: Infinity Wars, Nigerians took to the social media to react to the announcement of hilarious actress Funke Akindele as a member of the cast. Popularly known as Jennifer, she will be playing the role of Dora Milaje, one of Black Panther's guards. And thousands of Benue residents gathered at the IBB Square in Makurdi, the state capital, to witness the burial of victims of herdsmen killings. Nigerians joined them via their tweets and wished for the repose of the dead. Well, there you go. Those were the trends in the past week. However, I will be alone today in the studio, but joining me on the program via the Google Plus Hangout, we have Mukhtar Ranihan, who joins us from New York. Mukhtar, it is a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Having me. Good afternoon.
Of course. We also have Nnamdi Anikwe, who joins us from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. Nnamdi, thanks as well for joining us on the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Of course. And also we have just close by in Lokoja in Kogi State, Gbenga or Lorunpomi. Gbenga, thanks as well for joining us on the program. All right, let's just dive in. Mukhtar, let me come to you now. Let's begin with a historical, background on this herdsmen-farmer clashes in Nigeria.
Yes. Can you hear me? I hear a lot of background noise.
Yes, please. I can hear you. Go ahead.
The nomadic lifestyle is cultural history. I mean, we've had herdsmen in Nigeria for, as far as I can tell, thousands of years, in what is now known as Nigeria. And traditionally, they've had grazing routes all the way from the edge of what is now Nigeria all the way down to the Atlantic Ocean. However, with time, civilization hold ground. So where they used to, the corridors they used to go through have become narrower and narrower and narrower. So now, in some places, they no longer exist. For the rest of us, the herdsmen still have to herd their cows, presume or assume is the best we know how, open grazing. So even though there were routes where they are now and they're no longer routes, the herdsmen still feel that historically they've always been in those areas, so they should continue to do so. Unfortunately, like I said, with civilization, we've had people, we've had new developments spring up, and clashes are bound to ensue, and clashes do happen. It is their sovereign right to go where they want, how they want, and when they want, which obviously is totally unacceptable.
Yeah, all right. So like I was saying, just to moving forward, you talked about how it has been happening historically, for as far back as quite a number of years that you made mention of. But, they're trying to, it has resulted now, in clashes between farmers, and themselves. And, in trying to proffer solutions, they're talking about, herdsmen colonies. What's that about? And what does it entail? Nnamdi, let me come to you to get us an insight into what that is.
Well, I think the Minister of Agriculture was talking about cattle colonies, whereby you have nomadic educational facilities, you have housing for the nomads, you have hospitals, that's the veterinary clinics for the cattle. But well, when you look at the colony and the ranching, there's not much of a difference. The final solution to the issue of herdsmen and the farmers should be to confine the herdsmen to a particular geographic location or to a particular environment whereby they can have access to water for their cattle, they can have access to grass, and they can have access to medical care for their breed, and they also can have access to educational facilities for their children. That way, they don't migrate from one region to the other. Because I think Mokhtar was saying that there's a historical angle to the issue of migratory Fulani herdsmen, whereby they move from one place to the other across grazing routes that was gazetted in the 60s. So it's not like they are going outside of the law. They are using the lawful grazing routes, but the challenge we have in the modern times is as a result of infrastructure having been built on those routes, and also some of those routes, development has caught up with it. Some have farms there, some have houses, some have other kinds of facilities. So what do you do in terms of the modern aspect of raising cattle? So you can use the government word, cattle colony. If it's going to confine them to a particular area whereby they can have grass, they can have access to medical care, they can have access to, the nomads can have access to educational facilities, and also be secured, and also security is very important. If they are not very secured in those cattle colonies, that means you have to want to migrate again to where they feel secured. So if the government can implement a cattle colony, well, it's good for the herdsmen and also good for the farmers as well.